So what you'll need to do is give a toddler everything they want. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, welcome to Miss Julie's Montessori Minutes. I'm Miss Julie. I'm so glad you found this video. Today we're going to talk about some of the mistakes adults make that can actually provoke tantrums in toddlers. Young children have a whirlwind of emotions going on inside of them. They live in this adult world, and so there's kind of low-key stress going on a lot of the time that they depend on the order of the external world to give them a hand up to help them deal with those emotions and help prevent what is commonly called a tantrum, an outburst of emotion. Sometimes it seems like a toddler's tantrums come out of nowhere, but oftentimes they can be avoided altogether if adults just have a little window into the reasons that children, toddlers, have tantrums. So let's take a look at some common mistakes adults make when interacting with children that can provoke a tantrum. Number one, an adult manhandling a child. So grabbing the child's body, moving them, touching them, grooming them, washing them, without communicating that in advance to the child. Those things would be very disconcerting to an adult, and they are to children too, and can provoke tantrums. Number two, being inconsistent. Allowing a child to engage in one activity most of the time, and then suddenly, without explanation, not allowing them to do that. Or every morning giving them milk in the orange cup and without warning or explanation presenting a yellow cup. A third mistake adults make that can provoke a tantrum in a toddler is interrupting their concentration. Now, sometimes this is simply due to the fact that we have not observed that the child is indeed concentrating, and toddlers do spend a great deal of time concentrating in their little lives, and adults don't recognize it because they're concentrating on things that we aren't typically concentrating on anymore, such as concentrating on watching an ant cross a sidewalk, or concentrating on playing with their blocks, or concentrating on squirting all the dish soap into the sink. These things can command real concentration from a child, and just like we don't like to be interrupted when we're concentrating on an important work, toddlers don't like being interrupted either. Number four, and this is related a little bit to the inconsistent one, but it's big changes in routine. So that can be due to a life event or just a change in the way things need to go a certain morning because there's a doctor's appointment. So preparing the child in advance for big changes in routine is helpful, but not too far in advance, because if you tell a child a week ahead of time that their uncle's picking them up from school, then they could just worry about it for a week, and there's really nothing more they can prepare themselves to do for that event. But just giving them a heads up that day, you know, Uncle Henry's going to come pick you up. Here's what it'll look like. A fifth reason children can have tantrums is because we are not respecting their innate desire to have control over toileting, food, sleep, and freedom of movement. So anytime we're being really authoritarian in the areas of the child's sleep, movement, toileting, or food, we can expect some pushback. So at a toddler age, it is appropriate to give them a little bit of choice in those four areas. That way the child will feel that they have some control over their little lives. Number six is being rushed. Toddlers, while they do move quickly and have a lot of energy, don't like being rushed through life. They are so observant, and they enjoy taking the time to observe things, taking the time with an activity, and they don't appreciate being rushed. Now, unfortunately, if you're living in a culture that is really time-bound, this can be difficult. But whenever possible, give your child time to finish the activity they're doing, plenty of time to put their coat and shoes on. Just always be reminding yourself things take longer for toddlers. 7 is the child expects a reaction from you that you don't give them. And this one's tricky because we don't know, and this tends to happen a lot when they're about 2.5, what they're imagining our response will be. But they often are expecting a certain response from us. Now, there are some other specific things adults fail to do or wording that can contribute to tantrums, and I have a little series about that. I'll put the link right up here to that series. And please join me in the comments and let me know what you find can set off a tantrum in your child. And if you're a returning viewer, I would love to know what you think of my backdrop today. I'm in just a corner of my Montessori toddler classroom. What do you think? You like this?